Welcome back to the top news channel RF Update. If you find my video useful, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Shame of the century. Sturgeon make a cursed statement about Shell, SNP is a lie. Disgraceful is the outraged reaction from critics of Sturgeon's coalition after an assault by far-right fanatics. A Holyrood minister's description of proponents of future oil drilling as hard-right fanatics has been called disgraceful by the SNP-led government. Some opinions say, just 7 years ago the entire independence argument was founded on there being oil revenue to fund it. The SNP must have discovered a very big magic money tree since then. Many supporters of the loony lefties think that if you don't support their politics, then you are on the far right. On the other hand, Scotland's oil, you mean Shetland's oil, don't you? And they do not want anything to do with NS's SNP and her Marxist policies. But according to many experts' opinions, if there is anyone who is extreme, it's the Greens when you hear that people up north who have been forced to have these rubbish heat pumps which are completely useless. Not only that, scrap devolved assemblies. SNP has a 15-year history of failure, misappropriation of UK funds and corruption. Scotland's Secretary of State Alistair Jack slammed the statements, warning that the UK's economy would be devastated if it couldn't get its hands on future oil, one source said. There would still be a need for some oil even if Britain has gone net zero by 2050, he added. I am glad that Shell has decided to abandon its plans to develop the Cambo oil field, Green MSP Patrick Harvey, a minister in Nicola Sturgeon's coalition, said Friday. He exclaims, "Great, the Cambo project looks like it's on the skids," as he lamented the delay in digging the new oil field. But according to some opinions that, if Sturgeon, the SNPs and the Green Party are so concerned about reducing the amount of oil in Scotland, then I say give the Shetlands, Orkneys and the Western Isles a vote for independence from Scotland and the option of being part of the UK Crown. Win-win for everyone. The SNP and the Green Party at a stroke will reduce Scotland's oil and gas and fish by 60% plus and be off Scotland's books, and they won't have to worry about it anymore. In fact, they can brag to the world how they have reduced Scotland's reliance on oil and gas. In a recent speech, Mr. Jack said, the Tories are now isolated. It's only the hard right who continues to deny the reality. I thought that remark as quoted is disgraceful. I support future drilling and I'm not a hard right extremist, just to put that on record in case anyone wondered. On the other hand, the Scottish Secretary said, we have an oil and gas industry that is in transition, and the key is transition. We will get to net zero by 2050. But when we get to net zero by 2050, let's be clear, on current calculations, and Lord Orford and I met with the oil and gas executives the week before last, 35%, I think it's 20% oil and 15% gas, as a requirement in 2050 of our energy source. A reader named Proud Scott said, all this to get us here in these small islands to achieve net zero pollution, when 95% of the rest of the great big world out there is spewing it out to suit themselves. It is one of the saddest things I find about living here in Scotland in this day and age that there are so many dreamers around. Practical, rational, sensible people seem to be less and less the older I get. I put it down to the destruction of the education system we had by the SNP.